I was glad to see the Titans get aggressive and top wide receiver in the free agent market. I was surprised to see it, but glad to see it
Yeah.
because that's another way I think that they kind of said, "Hey, we understand. We got to get weapons out there." And how do you feel about Treylon Burks? I mean, since we're talking about Ridley, I know there are Titans fans that are like, God, I'm sick of hearing about this. But, I mean, this is a first round pick from a couple of years ago. Now you've got, I mean, to me, the best he could be right now is the fourth guy
Yeah.
behind Ridley, Hopkins, and Boyd. Some stuff Callahan has said has got people like, he talked about special teams, and it's
Mm.
got people thinking that Burks might be just going down the pecking order a little bit. How do you feel about him?
Yeah. Well, and we had Teron Davenport on a couple of times with the last time we had on, and we kind of brought this up with Teron, and he's basically like, "Where's the snaps going to be?
Right.
How's he going to get any snaps? I mean, unless any of these guys get injured, and knock on wood. I mean, hopefully they don't, but more than likely there's going to be some injuries throughout the season. But you got Boyd, Ridley, and Hop. Where's the snaps going to come from? So that's the thing. His snaps are going to be very low. So I think it's put up or shut up. Like he's got to do the most with what he's given, and that includes special teams.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're basically saying. Like, hey, you gotta step it up. You gotta show what you got on special teams. Now, I believe if he goes out there and hustles and he makes every play that he can, and he takes advantage of the limited snaps that he gets on offense, then yeah, you're talking about, okay, well, maybe this guy does have something if he can stay healthy. That's the thing. I think having him as your fourth guy, he's going to get who knows how many snaps. If he gets 300-400 yards this season, I would be impressed by
Yeah.
that. I'm considering, because I think Boyd's going to get a lot of playing time.
Oh yeah.
And obviously Ridley and Hop are going to get a ton of playing time. So, I guess what I'm interested to see, Brad, is like how many snaps does NWI and Burks get? Like, and does NWI get the majority of the snaps? Because I think if NWI gets the majority of the snaps over Burks, then I think Burks is definitely gone come next
Yeah.
season.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask this question later, but it just feels like a good time to ask. If assuming there are 6 wide receivers when the
Yeah.
final 53 comes out, we know the top 3. Who do you? Because you have a certain guy on the receiving group that I've seen you go to bat for
Yeah.
on Twitter a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Who do you think rounds out that
I
receiving
mean,
group?
and I've said this on my show multiple times. Like, a lot of people do dog on us for being such big Kinsey supporters. And, there's a reason we are. We know his family and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So it's not, there's a reason we are. But in a realistic sense, we are realistic too. And this is going to be the toughest offseason for Mason, considering all the good wide receivers, all the top name wide receivers that they have here. It's going to be very tough for him. And if the Titans keep 6, I don't see him making that final roster. Now, I think Kinsey's going to be one of those guys that continue to be on the practice squad, and he'll continue to add value, and they'll call him up when they need him. But if they keep 7, I think he could slip in. If they keep
Yeah.
6, I don't think he is, because I think, obviously Hop, Burks, Boyd, NWI, who am I missing? Ridley.
Yeah.
That's 5, right?
That is 5.
And then the Jackson kid, I think they're going to keep him just because he was drafted in the 6th round. I don't think there's any way
Are you
they
talking about
Jaquan.
okay, because there's also Kieris Jackson from
Yeah,
that they had last
yeah.
year.
I think it's Jaquan Jackson all the way as the 6th guy, just because they drafted him in the 6th round. If he was drafted in the 7th, maybe I could see him getting cut if he was just bad in camp and didn't show anything in preseason. But they already love them some Jaquan Jackson. I mean, he's all in the media and he's all this and that. But which look, I'm not hating on the guy. I think he's quick, he's fast, he's been exciting to watch. And I look, I hope all these guys do well. Like I really do. Like I hope even the guys who are just from the bottom of the bottom. I hope they all do well, but I think realistically, you're looking at 6. Burks is one of those. Jackson is one of those. If you go to 7, which historically Callahan has kept 7, or they've kept 7 in Cincinnati. So I don't know. I guess let me turn it on you. If they keep 7. Who do you think the 7th guy is?
With those 6 you named, if you keep a 7th, I know people are ready to throw in the towel on Kyle Phillips.
Yeah.
I still feel like, I mean, was it the Steelers game where he made some really nice plays?
He made some good plays.
At Tampa Bay, the game you were at, he made some nice plays. My only thing with him is his durability. I feel like he is is like glass. I mean, he just breaks so easily. But I mean, keeping a 7th, that definitely opens up hope for him and Mason Kinsey. I think if they kept a 7th, I would throw Kearis Jackson's name back out there. I think, because he was mostly brought in as he was returning kicks last year, which I think is what they would have Jaquan Jackson probably doing, because I mean, if it's speed. But if I have to give a final answer, I would give that 7th spot to Kyle Phillips. I think they've been posting clips of him in practice, and I know that has no bearing, but I think, if it would have to be something where he does so good in camp where they're like, we have to put this guy on the roster, you know? But also, if you've got Boyd playing in the slot, I mean, you'll talk about limited snaps. I mean, you're now talking about a guy who, when Boyd needs to get some Gatorade, this guy will get in there, Kyle Phillips, and get a couple snaps. So, if I had to, I would say Kyle for now, but it's awesome that we can even have the conversation, because in years past, it's been like, well, we have 2 guys that I could say for sure, and then everybody else is just here.
Oh, man, it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
So I'm glad we can even discuss the 7th guy and who that might be, because the others are so obvious.